All right, buddy. We're doing a quick little primer today on the Northwest Elite Football Camp for people who haven't been. You and I are going to talk briefly about the camp, and hopefully this is going to record and show people what's going on out there. So, Colt, tell me about the camp this year, the Northwest Elite Football Camp, the date, time, and what year are you guys going into with this big camp?
So this will be, I believe it's our 6th year with the camp. The camp's grown quite a bit for people that have followed it since inception. Jason started it. Jason Gesser did an incredible job laying the groundwork of the camp. Again, going into our 6th year, we've been at Mercer Island the last couple of years. This year it's June 6th. We've grown even more so. So we're down at the Starfire Sports Complex in Tukwila. We wanted to be able to better accommodate the guys coming up from Oregon, especially with what might be happening with the Nike Spark stuff. So it should be a great turnout.
Yeah, not only Oregon, but last year we had California, Arizona. We had guys in from Arizona. It was awesome. So
we had 60 kids come up from California last year, from Southern California.
Okay. Just to let people know, right now what I'm looking at is Washington. These are going to be in the house: Arizona State, Boise State, Oregon State, Washington, Idaho Vandals, Nevada Wolfpack, UCLA Bruins, and Montana Grizzlies, Portland State Vikings, Eastern Washington University, one of the major powers in that division. Wyoming, been there the last several years. Washington, new coach there is going to be in the house. UC Davis, the Aggies will be back. Colorado, Cornell, Utah, University of North Dakota, South Dakota School of Mines, Coach Stacy coming in, I believe there. Simon Fraser, UTEP, Colorado State, Amherst, University of Puget Sound, Pacific Lutheran, and Linfield Wildcats. And towards the top of that panel is the University of Oregon. They are not very often likely to go to camps. You think you might get them this year. Why? They've not gone to camps because they haven't had to. What might draw them to the camp this year? Have you had discussions with them?
Yeah, so I was actually at a clinic. I was at the Nike Portland clinic with snapraise.com talking with coaches about helping them fundraise. And one of the guys from the Oregon staff came by. And the tough thing that we've always had is we've had a tough time actually just talking to anybody there. And I introduced myself, and the coach had known about the camp, and I think with Coach Peterson coming into Washington, they're kind of feeling like they needed to step out a little bit. So I let them know about the camp, and they're not 100% confirmed yet, but they've gone through the steps of getting it approved through compliance and things like that. So we're expecting them to be there. We haven't got a solid from them yet, but we would be surprised if they weren't there.
Okay. Couple of other changes for the camp this year. You and I were talking about this. There's been so many kids in the past few years. Sometimes it's been hard to sort out, the really great upcoming prospects from the really, really good ones, and just guys who had great performances, had an MVP process that you'll go through. But talk to me a little bit about the change this year. There's going to be was it the Golden Band, or what's it called? You're doing something special this year. Tell us about it.
So what we're doing is we're introducing a thing called the Gold Camp. What we're doing is we're giving every coach at the camp one wristband. The way that works is each coach is going to be able to pick their favorite guy. Now it's going to be like Willy Wonka's golden ticket, right? So there's only a few of them that'll go out. Last year we had 150 college coaches there, and this is all the way from GAs to head coaches. So each one of those coaches is going to be able to hand out a golden wristband to a student athlete at the camp that then will compete in the camp, in what we call the Gold Camp. So the way that will work is at the end of the camp, we're actually going to have all of those Gold Camp members be a part of the end camp, which will be all of what we will pick the MVPs from will be the Gold Camp members. So
bottom line is kids this year have an incentive to come, and they're all going to get great looks from all these coaches, but now they're going to get an opportunity to take that next step and even maybe be put on a showcase sort of an event at the end, just at the very end of camp.
It's going to be crazy because I'm actually really excited to see the way that the coaches hand out the wristbands. It's probably going to be really frantic at the end to make sure that, their guy got one, or, the guy they really wanted to coach at the end of the camp, make sure he got one, that kind of thing. It's going to be really fun because we're expecting somewhere around 850 kids for the camp this year, which is why we've moved it to Starfire. So we're looking at already 850 great high school football players from the West Coast. Then we whittle that down to the top 150, basically, all within the camp. And then from there, we choose our MVPs just from the gold camp. So we whittle it all the way down to the top 5 at every position. So it's pretty cool.
And it's always so tough to bring up the MVPs just because there's so much talent. Last few years, we've seen literally verbal offers being made right after camp. And just because it's early June, just a lot of action right after that in terms of kids getting calls to come to junior days, kids getting calls to come up to camps for the college camps. So I'm taking a quick look at NWElitesports.com. That is your website. You guys are not part of the other Northwest Elite group. The names kind of coincide, but this is yourself, Eddie Behringer, and the group that run Northwest Elite football camps. You have some speed camps going on. You've done some skill camps. So for people wanting to get registered for the camp, we would recommend they get over to NWElitesports.com and get to work on that. Any other advice for people coming? This is a non-padded camp, right?
It's a non-padded camp. We don't have a staff. The Northwest Elite Sports does not have a coaching staff that we retain. The way that our camps are set up is set up to be a tremendous value. Just to go to one football camp at Washington State, it costs, I believe $280 to go to the camp just to get in front of one staff, which is great. I mean, it's still a great value. You get to be with the staff, for 3 days. Our camp is, I believe, 145. And you get to be in front of 28 coaching staff. So the value there is tremendous.
And so
all of the coaches coach at our camp. That's what we don't have.
They are there to coach and put eyes on kids. They're allowed under NCAA guidelines to coach these kids up. At the same time, your service and your staff are going to provide full contact information, spreadsheets, all the information these coaches are going to want to follow up with these guys for recruiting purposes, which is ultimately why they're coming out to the camp. Good rep on the one-on-ones there. Not sure if you got the chance to see that. I know the technology you and I are using today is a little different than what we've used, but the hope was that parents, especially newcomers to the camp, there's going to be a certain level of nervousness coming out for an event like this. It's just a matter of anybody who wants to get after it, showing up and getting the work in, isn't it?
Yeah, if you think you can play college football at any level, we want you to be out at the camp. We have NAIA through Division I. Obviously, the Division I's are more attractive for some kids, so that's what a lot of people get stuck on. I played Division I football. My partner Eddie played Division III football. He was an Ivy League guy. He ended up at UPS. So the basis for the camp is if you want to play football, come to the camp, get in front of a bunch of different schools, find out where you stack up with guys across the region, meet a bunch of coaches, compete.
I've been there 6 years in a row. Every year there's surprises that show up at camp, guys who've never got their name out. Last year might have been Jesse Sims' year. We kind of knew about him coming in from Montana, but he came along with a number of other guys and sort of stole that torch. So anybody coming in can really walk away a winner from this one, can't they?
It's incredible. How many offers did Jesse Sims end up getting?
Jesse's at 6 right now, and we just ran a story on him out of Stevensville, Montana, a town of 1,800. 6'4", 240 pounds. He just ran an 11.4 100 meter. Now you put that weight and that speed together, big time.
Oregon State. I know this for a fact. And again, we don't harp on kids getting offers at the camp. It's about coming out and competing and things like that. But this is a really, really cool story. Nobody knew about Jesse really from before the camp. I think you guys did at the prep report.
Yep.
But I had a coach from Oregon State come up to me and say, "Have you heard about this kid that you guys have from Montana? His name's Jesse. We just offered him. We'd never heard about him. They met him at the camp, offered him at the camp.
Yeah.
And didn't know anything about it."
Great story. And I think year before that, I think was David Ajamu from Shelton, who's now University of Washington Husky. And both of those guys came into that tight end DN spot, and there were kids in front of them both these last 2 years that had multiple Division I offers, and they did as well or stole the thunder. And that's the great thing, is you get to compete against guys who have offers, and you're coming in there with no offers perhaps, or even maybe even a total unknown, and you can walk away a winner. So great opportunity. In closing this out with you, Cole, we talk to kids a lot about getting in front of college coaches, because there's literally camps every weekend. There's combines every weekend. This is one of the few, the All Poly camp in Utah, your camp, and just a very few other camps can kids go to, even in this entire part of the United States, and actually be seen by not only college coaches, but a lot of them. You think you have 150 total guys that might be there this year or more with eyes on kids.
Oh yeah, we had one coach for every 6.7 players last year, I believe.
Wow, that's great. Great job you guys are doing, Cole. And we'll be doing a follow-up with you and doing some follow-up stories as well on the camp as we get closer. We're about 6 weeks out.
Yeah, we got so guys, be looking for your letters. This is for our Texas camp, but be looking for your letters. We've got all the Northwest Elite letters out. Texas goes out this week, and SoCal goes out the next. So, yeah. And
it's open to anybody that wants to come, as long as they get registered in time. Get over to the website, get registered. Paul Morgan?
Get to the website, get registered. We will sell out for sure.
Yeah. Again, great job, Cole Morgan with Northwest Elite Sports, co-director of the Northwest Elite Football Camp, and SNAP fundraising we'll do on another time. But I know that's busting wide open for you guys, helping kids and schools raise money, right?
Yes, sir. It's incredible.
All right, Cole. Thank you for the time. Those that are watching, best hustle over to the website and get registered, and we'll all see you at camp, I hope, okay? Thanks very much, Cole.
Thanks, Dirk.